Happy Monday, football fans. We got a lot of NFL news to dive into today. A couple of contract holdout updates that we're going to hit off the top, and then some new information regarding the release of Christian Wilkins as that storyline continues to unravel. And I'll just say this: I don't think we've heard the end of that one. So we'll dive into the latest there as Schefter revealed some stuff on the Pat McAfee show. But listen, YouTube's got a new feature where you can see your latest new subscribers. So I just want to give you guys some shout outs. We'll do some shout outs for the end of the show as well. So shout out to my guy Nick, Tony, Larry, Michael, and Pete for your support. We greatly appreciate it. If you want a shout out on a future episode, if you want free and daily NFL and college football content, hit that subscribe button here on Verts, and we'll work on some shout outs as these shows continue to go along. All right, let's get to Trey Hendrickson here, the latest there, and a lot of this information coming via Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show just minutes ago. And he said that there's basically a deal in place in terms of a structure, but the issue continues to remain around the guaranteed money that the Bengals are willing to give Trey Hendrickson. Here's what Schefter had to say. He said, I think the Bengals are offering 1 year of guarantees. I think you're talking about some guarantees in the second year, but not enough guaranteed money in the second year. If and when a deal gets done, I would expect it to be a 3-year contract. He went on to add that the guaranteed money is a, quote, big disagreement between Cincinnati and Trey Hendrickson. Obviously, the Bengals were able to get the Shamar Stewart thing handled over the weekend. He's in camp, which means Trey Hendrickson is the final piece that they have to resolve. And I've said this for a while. This is what you do. You give Trey Hendrickson 3 years, $100 million, 75 to 80 guaranteed. That gives the first full 2 years guaranteed and then some partial guarantees in year 3. They're basically offering a full year less than that. It might be a 3-year structure, but they're only offering like 1.5, 1.25 years guarantees, where I think you need to offer 2.25, 2.5 years. Why? I mean, all his peers, other than the Danielle Hunter 1-year extension, all these other guys got 3-4-year deals with 3+ years guaranteed. Like, for him to take less than 2 years guaranteed, like, he's just disrespecting himself at that point. So I think at minimum, you got to give him 2 years of fully guaranteed money at north of $30 million per year. So you're already talking in the 60s. I would bump it up to 75, 80, be pretty comfortable. This guy has led the NFL in sacks over the last couple of years. So that's what I would do. If Cincinnati gets to that point, whether that happens, we'll have to wait and see. But I think the overall structure is in place. It's just about upping the guaranteed money when it comes to Trey Hendrickson. Okay, let's go from one holdout to another. Terry McLaurin, Schefter also on this one. He basically said that, look, he's not going to take less than the DK Metcalf deal. And DK Metcalf is now the 4th highest paid receiver. He got $33 million per year on his new deal. Now averages out to 30 with his 1 year remaining on his former contract. It's a 5-year, $150 million remaining contract. So the fact that they did it with 1 year left kind of helps. Washington's in a similar spot. They could do the same thing. DK's extension was 4 years, $132 million, $60 million guaranteed, which when you look at the guaranteed money, it's like, it's actually not that bad. They basically just guaranteed 2 years of it. That's a win, I would say, for Pittsburgh in the end. When it comes to DK Metcalf, he's got 5 years left this year plus 2 years of guaranteed. So really only 3 of the 5 they're on the hook for. So that's a pretty fair deal when it comes to Pittsburgh. Even if the 33 per year feels kind of outrageous, the guaranteed money is always what matters, which is what's holding up the Trey Hendrickson situation. And I got to be honest, it is eerie how similar these two guys' careers have been. They came in the same draft. They were both day 2 picks. They have the same amount of targets, same amount of games played, only 22 receptions off. They're within 50 or 60 yards of career receiving yards. Now, DK has been more of a touchdown and big play weapon when it comes to Terry McLaurin. Now, had Terry McLaurin played with a couple good years of Russell Wilson and recent years of Geno Smith compared to, I can't even name all the quarterbacks, Taylor Heineke, Carson Wentz, obviously had Jaden Daniels last year, but I think it's fair to say you look at those numbers, sure, you give DK the edge in touchdowns, but he has had better quarterbacks. They're pretty similar players in terms of production. Now, obviously, DK is a bigger body. He's more of a threat for the home run but obviously McLaurin's got advantages. I'd say he's a better route runner than DK Metcalf, can run more of the route tree. But yeah, like, of course he wants DK money because they've essentially produced the same. And his argument would be, yeah, not only did I deal with garbage QB play, but I stuck it out when we had an embarrassment of an owner, when we were going through different coaches, when we weren't winning at all. And now we are winning. I am good buddies with our quarterback. I'm easily the top receiver on this team. I've got the leverage. I've done the hard work when times were tough. Now it's time to get paid. And hey, DK got this. That's where it starts for me. So, listen, if you're Washington, I would offer the same extension, maybe give him $5 million extra guaranteed. Let's call it a day. That seems pretty reasonable, especially when you're the Commanders right now. It's like you finally have some momentum as a franchise. Do you really want to just mess around with that? I would not. So I would expect that in the end, this deal does get done, and it'll probably be similar framework to what DK Metcalf got. All right, who ends up getting paid first? Who gets that extension? Type H for Trey Hendrickson, M for Terry McLaurin. I'm going to say McLaurin's deal gets done first when it comes down to it, but doesn't sound like either is particularly close, but plenty of time. We're not even into the month of August yet. As long as these guys are ready for week one, if you're a Bengals or a Commanders fan, you'd feel comfortable as long as they're ready to go for the opener. Excuse me. Sip of water here. Okay, Christian Wilkins. We didn't get to cover this story. I was pretty busy this weekend, so he obviously got cut. There's a dispute over guarantees. The Raiders avoided that. We'll see if Wilkins and the PA win their appeal or whatever that whole thing was. But there's been all kinds of rumors flying around about what happened here beyond the injury, because things have started to kind of leak out, if you will. And Schefter said this. He said, from speaking to people inside the Raiders locker room, they say that Christian Wilkins playfully went to kiss a teammate on the top of his head. They say that player took offense to it, and that's what everybody has been dancing around. And my reaction to that initial quote is like, okay, like I could understand someone feeling a little awkward or uncomfortable, but that doesn't feel like enough to get it to the point to where it's gotten, where we're going to cut him now, Schefter, and we'll get to a minute. I think the injury part of this was the primary reason why they cut him. But I will add this to the point I was just making. Florio Pro Football Talk says that is definitely not the story that has been making the rounds. So is Raiders PR trying to feed Schefter kind of a partial story? Like, are they trying to protect people in that locker room? I don't know. I'm not going to over-speculate. This is clearly a sensitive area here when it comes to Christian Wilkins and potentially other people involved in that locker room. I think when whatever the story emerges, like that's what it'll be. It's we speculate on rumors about, could this player get traded here and there. The off the field stuff, I don't think that's appropriate in terms of me to just sit here and guess what could have happened. I'll leave that to you guys, but clearly this story is not over. I think that is what I will say, that this thing is not going to be resolved anytime soon. Now, Schefter did add, in terms of why the Raiders actually cut him, was that there was a disagreement over the way he was going about his rehab. The Raiders had been asking him to have another surgery on top of the one he had last year over and over. The surgery never got done, and the team grew increasingly frustrated. Our very own Mitchell Renz actually reported a month ago that Wilkins needed another surgery, at least from the Raiders' perspective, and that he was refusing to get it done. Now, a month later, they decided to cut him, and, you've got these side stories going on as well. Schefter added that he hasn't heard if Wilkins will have the surgery now. So in terms of him playing this year, let's just say if a team brings him in, I would guess that he's going to try to find a team that gives him a medical evaluation where he can avoid the surgery. Because it seems pretty clear he does not want to have surgery. He wants to play through whatever this foot issue is. But is he going to find that? Is that out there? I don't know. I would say it's 50-50 he plays this year. Because if he has the surgery, let's say he had it today. I don't know the recovery. I would guess at least that knocks him out till October. You're talking about a foot injury for a 320-pound player. that typically is multiple months. So, yeah, and I'm sure he's probably trying to avoid it because he missed most of last year, and he doesn't want to miss most of another season. So I'd call it a coin flip if he plays this year, especially with all this other storyline circus going on. If more gets revealed there, do teams back off? I don't know. But I do know this. I don't think we've heard the end of this story. Will Christian Wilkins play this season? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Give us your guess down in the comment section of this video. We would greatly appreciate it. Few more Verts subscriber shout-outs as we get out of here, as my eyes are not performing here. We got GD Jets, Mark, Chance, Sports Debate Arena. We got... is that Peachy Gamer, and then John Craig. Shout out to all of you. If you want a shout out on a future episode, if you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding the NFL and college football, hit that subscribe button. And by the way, Deion Sanders, cancer free. He announced that he had cancer and had a tumor removed. So we're all rooting for you, Deion. We'll see you next time.